Well, hello guys. Hello to everyone who is jumping in this live stream. I am just about to begin right now. Okay. Well, again, hello everyone. This is my second live streaming, so hopefully I'm not going to get any errors this time. Last time I had a few. Today's webinar is basically about mistakes that we make when we start crypto trading. I want to talk to you about this. Some of these are mistakes that I've personally made myself. So I'm going to share this because it is important for everyone who is new to crypto trading and to the crypto market altogether to be aware of these things. A lot of those charts and things that we are looking at in when we are trading, there's a lot of patterns and there's a lot of repetitiveness of trends, and of course when you are new to the market and when you first experience these things, it could be quite scary. And I think this is where we are at the moment. That's why I'm doing this video, because I'm hoping that I will be able to help you with at least my own personal experience. So, you know how when we start, pretty much everyone is aware that trading can be very profitable, and all you have to do is you have to buy low and sell high. And everyone knows that, everyone tells you that. It's pretty much the first thing that you learn when you start looking into trading, whether it be crypto or any other trading. It doesn't really matter. But why is it then that so many people are buying high and selling low? That actually happens way more often than you expect. It doesn't make sense, and we all know that it's not how you should be trading. At the same time, I'm seeing more and more people doing just that. And right now, we are in a very bearish market that's been going on for more than a couple of months. And of course, I'm still seeing people that keep selling low, or at least below the price that they paid for a certain coin. And it's really not the right thing to do. But why is this actually happening is the main question here. First of all, why do people buy high? One of the reasons is because they don't really do much research. A lot of the times when you find out about a coin, it is through word of mouth, whether it would be recommended to you by someone that you personally know, someone that you trust, someone who has a bit more experience and knowledge in this space than yourself. Or also it could be you saw an article, or you saw a TV, something on on the news, TV, mainstream media. That's usually the worst time to be buying anything, by the way, when the mainstream media is reporting on it, because what mainstream media does is they're looking for kind of entertaining news, things that would be interesting to you. They will catch a lot of attention or shock you. That they're looking for something that is extraordinary. So media would be reporting on events, first of all, after they've already happened, and second of all, they will be reporting on big events that would make a good headline, but not necessarily. That's not necessarily the time when you should be buying any coin. So if you just heard about an all-time high of Ethereum or a Litecoin, in December Litecoin was at all-time highs. When you hear about that from the media, that is already too late for you to be buying it. What you should be doing is, however, keep it on your radar. So if you found out about a coin by someone who is telling you to buy it, or on an article or a tweet, or any kind of social media post that is urging you to buy certain coin because it's got amazing performance, that's the time for that coin to become one of the coins you're following and you're looking at and you're monitoring, but not necessarily the right time to buy. Another reason why people are buying high is because they're getting caught up in FOMO, which means fear of missing out. So there's too many people who they follow different outlets and news and videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and at some point they see maybe a few or three different sources reporting on, look at Ripple, or look at Litecoin, again an example, look at Ethereum, look at lately there's been a lot of talk about Stellar and stuff like that. So people would immediately pick up on that and say, oh, I heard about Stellar just yesterday, or maybe even today someone else told me about Stellar, let's go and buy some. And you would go and you would just buy some because many people are saying that this is a profitable coin that will go up in value and it's the right time to buy. But is it really the right time? I've seen that also there are a lot of traders or even companies that send out newsletters to their followers, and we're talking, sometimes they have not hundreds but thousands of followers, and they're sending out a newsletter about this coin is going to go to the moon, this project has this and this going on, and it's going to very soon get the news will be breaking out and everyone will be buying it, so you need to get in early. Okay, that's fine. If it's someone that you personally know that can advise you personally, that's a different kind of a game. But if you're going to be one of many people receiving a newsletter with a signal like that, you're guaranteed that everyone else receiving that newsletter, or at least a majority of those people who are interested in coins and that's why they're receiving this newsletter, they will be going now to be buying that coin now as well. And that will push the price up in the short term. It could be even just for a day. I recently saw that with a coin. And that's exactly what happened. Someone recommended that coin, and immediately the price went up so high. And of course, after those people who are following that person bought the coin, the interest dropped, the price dropped as well. And this was a much better time for anyone to be getting in if they really wanted to get in. So that's another thing. You should not get caught up in fear of missing out, because you make decisions that are often against you when you are having the fear of missing out. It's basically following the herd. That's what it means, is that you hear about something when everyone else hears about something, and you're one of those many people who are jumping on that trade at the same time when the market is not necessarily in your favor. Okay, hey Ravi, how are you doing? So, by the way, I announced this video more than an hour ago. It was supposed to start more than an hour ago, but I did have some technical difficulties. So hopefully right now everything is fine. So I know that most of you will be watching this video on repeat rather than right now live, which is fine. It is quite late here, and I don't expect many of my followers to be awake at this time. It's close to midnight. Anyway, so continuing, do not follow the herd. Make your own mind, make up your own decisions when is good to buy. So get educated on simple, even, just the basics of trading. I have a video that I linked in here, and it's about how to determine support and resistance for coins, because if you're able to at least analyze charts in the basics, and I have some other videos about candlesticks and what are they and how to read, the really basics. Even if you just know that, you will be able. Now I'm looking here at just a random coin on Binance. If you're able to analyze the chart, let's go to minutes, and you can look at what's going on with this coin at the time when you heard about it. You don't have to go and buy it straight away. The chart might look like this, so you might be thinking, oh, look at it, it's actually gone down, I should be buying it right now because it's a very good price. What you need to do is, if you go back in time, you will be able to see where you are currently according to previous highs and previous lows. And then you'll be able to even, you can even go further back in time, and well, not really that much, but I would say one day is good enough in this case. And you can see what's happening here. What can you expect? So where are you right now? Are you at a true support? Are you at, is there any more room for this coin to go lower and bottom even more? Is it going to reach, is there another support level further down that maybe you should be aiming for, for your entry point? Because you really need to get it at the cheapest point you can in order to maximize your profits. Because if you bought this coin somewhere here, let's say that you heard about it and it was at a time when the market was already going up, but you still thought that it's gotten more potential, so you jumped in on that trade and you bought it somewhere here. It went up even more and it went up even more, but that happened over the couple of days after you bought it. A lot of the times this is too soon for you to be closing your trade, to be selling off that coin, because you think, oh, I just got in, it's only been a couple of days, this has more room to grow and I'm going to hold. And then what happens? It's reached the peak, the interest has deteriorated, and now the price is going down. You've lost probably 20% around here, and you're thinking, oh, I could have sold it 20% more. I don't want to sell it right now. I don't want to sell it 20% less. I'm going to wait for that peak to repeat. It's not repeating. It's going down 30%, 40%, 50% down, maybe 60, 70. I would assume is something like that. I'm doing this on top of my head, of course, but you get the point. And you just become a back holder and you're waiting and waiting and it never really comes. So this is one big mistake that people are doing, is that they don't really sell at the right time. They keep waiting and hoping that the coin will go up, but they're not analyzing the markets, they're not analyzing the trends properly, and this is how they don't see that this is a losing trade already. So you should really be able to analyze a losing trade. Let me just switch to my other screen. You should be able to analyze when the market has turned against you, it's going down. When is the time for you to sell out? There's no right or wrong really. You will be selling with a type of either a loss if you don't wait too long, or maybe here you could have sold with a bit of a profit, but it's less profit than you could have gotten. So in any case, it's not going to be your ideal case, but it is better than waiting and waiting until that coin goes even below the price you bought it for, and then you have to wait now for it to even reach your price to break even, and after that to go in profit if it ever happens. So, and this is really a mistake that many people are doing, is they don't really analyze the markets very much, and they don't check what is the right support, resistance, and all of that. Now, the selling low is a lot of the times because people are afraid. A lot of the times people are caught up in what we call FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And of course, when people are fearful, when there's a lot of uncertainty, like right now there's regulators coming and trying to be even more restrictive than before. Some countries are banning ICOs, other countries are trying to even ban crypto trading. The exchanges are having difficulties and stuff like that. So that creates a lot of uncertainty and doubt. Is this going to work? Is this going to happen? And this is when people are selling a lot. So that is, another very common mistake that people are doing. Oh, hey, obsessive coin impulsive. I will remove my camera next time I go in the chart so that you can see it. Thank you guys for commenting here so I can see what's going on, in fact. Okay, so well, the chart wasn't really important because it was just an example, and I was just showing you how people can how the charts actually move. You can go to any chart. Let me remove my camera now. You can go to any chart and you can still, analyze support and resistance. I have a different video for that. I'm not trying to explain here exactly where is the support and where is the resistance, but I'm just giving examples how if you bought a coin somewhere here and it went up and you didn't sell out, you may end up waiting and holding it and start getting at loss. And many people are doing that because they're just too afraid to sell. They think, you know, this is gonna go up, it's gonna go up, and they're not selling. You need to you need to create a strategy for yourself. You need to basically decide on what would be a good time for you to sell. What do you want to make of this coin? Whether you want to keep it for a really long term and, you know, trying to wait for these high sorts of, you know, all-time highs. You know, you can never be guaranteed that will be repeated, so you shouldn't really be waiting for another all-time high. But what you really need to do is analyze what is a good entry point, because once you analyze a good entry point and you get in as low as possible, you don't really have to worry so much. Because if you bought this coin down here, and let me remove the camera again so that you can see what I'm talking about. If you bought this coin down here, which is at 684 Satoshi, then it went up, you didn't sell it, then it came down here, you know, you're still at sort of 300% profit here. You can still sell it with a very good profit. And if you can analyze that this is now becoming a long-term bearish trend, you should really look into selling it rather than keep waiting and waiting until it comes down and it comes down and it's now at 800 and you bought it at, what was it, 600 or something. So now it's really close to your price that you paid and it's not really that much of a profit. So this is another mistake that people were doing a lot, is that they're just holding and they don't really analyze the trends to realize that sometimes it's better to sell and wait for the coin to go down and buy it again when it's even lower. That could even work with a losing trend. I mean, with a losing trade. We don't really like to sell at loss, but imagine that you bought, let's go to another screen. I'm gonna go into Stellar. Okay, no. Stellar is actually doing much better. Let's look at Stratis here. Okay, so let's say that you bought Stratis up here and then it went up even more and you didn't sell it because at the time it was looking like Stratis is not going down. It was a lot of things happening with Stratis and everyone was talking about it, and it just seemed like this market will continue to go up. It will have a correction, of course, after the parabolic jump, but after the correction it was expected to continue. Then the whole market crashed, everything went down, and Stratis started its long decline. It's been in a bearish market ever since, and it's still not recovered from that bearish market. So even a strong and good project like Stratis can have this kind of long-term bearish market, which if you didn't sell Stratis here, or, you know, let's say it was too early, you thought that there will be a correction, you saw it going all the way down here, correct it again, time to sell, maybe you didn't, again you didn't sell, and you're looking at it going down and down and down, and it's now coming down here, maybe lower than the price that you paid for it. At some point, you need to be prepared to sell even at a loss, because look what happened. It went further down, it recovered. At this point, you should be selling, because at this point, when you sell and after such a big jump, there will be another correction, you can then buy it again down here. And if you bought it down here, you can buy the same amount you sold up here, but you're making up some of those losses that, you know, if you bought it up here and you sold it down, you have made losses. You can actually recover these losses later on. It's kind of a reverse type of recovery, but it's still a recovery nevertheless. So that's something that you need a bit of experience in order to achieve. I understand that. And you need to make a lot of trades in order to get that experience. Everyone will be making mistakes and everyone will need time in order to learn. But hopefully sharing these kind of common mistakes that even I've made will help you to kind of not having to make them too much. Okay? Now, panic selling is another thing, another big reason why people are selling low. And it's because they're seeing this kind of a big crash happening. You know, with every coin that I'm showing here, we are seeing this very strong decline. This is now, I'm looking at last May, and June, because this was a time when the market turned from a super bullish market into a very long-term bearish market that many people got caught up by surprise, me including myself. What happened is I broke my hand just at the end of May, and for a good week or more I couldn't go, not couldn't go, but I didn't go online because I was taking painkillers and things that were making my eyesight blurry and everything. So it wasn't the time to be spending time in front of the screen. And at some point I started seeing a lot of posts by people about all the coins being on red, and big losses, 20, 30, 40%. I went to check my portfolio, and I realized that a lot of the coins that I had purchased are already minus 30, minus 40%. So of course I'm not selling when I'm at minus 40%, but there are many people who are. And I don't understand it. I mean, if there is no future in that coin, even if there's no future in that project, you shouldn't really be panic selling, because you need to stop, analyze the charts and think, do I really want to make that loss, or can I be patient? Can I wait? Because what happened with many of the coins, they did have, at some point, they did have some recovery. Now, this coin here didn't really recover. This is SIA. So with SIA coin, we don't really have that kind of luck, but with many of them we did. With Stellar, for instance. So this is last May, and this is the rest of the year. It really bottomed down, and because of some good news, look what happened after that. Not only it surpassed the previous all-time high, it went to a completely, probably more than double that. So this is also possible with crypto. It's happening a lot. I hope you can see my chart this time. I managed, hold on, let me make it a bit higher. No, that's as high as I can go. Okay, I'm just going to hide my camera again. So we had a peak here, which was last May, and then we had pretty much the rest of the year, it was a bearish market, and it really bottomed in November, and October, November, it really bottomed, and then it started climbing up again, and then we see new all-time highs. That doesn't always happen, but a lot of the times it does, especially after a long-term bearish market. It's very possible that we're going to see recoveries, and when you start seeing recoveries, it's also very important to be ready to sell, because sometimes these recoveries could be short-term. You're not guaranteed that you will have a long-term recovery. Like, for instance, Ethereum. It never reached its previous all-time high in terms of Bitcoin value, but it did manage to gain quite a substantial peak here in, was that October again, or in February, in fact. So it was just a few weeks ago that we had Ethereum at 0.10. And it hasn't seen that price in a long time. Last time at 0.10 was in July. So if you were one of those people who were holding Ethereum throughout all this time, waiting for it to reach previous high peaks so that you can sell, when you see that happening, you should really sell, because later on, when it consolidates and goes down again, retracts, you can actually buy it again. And this is really trading. Otherwise, you are becoming just an investor. You're becoming one of those people who, yes, you believe in the project, you bought it somewhere up here, and you didn't sell because you didn't want to make a loss, and you're now just holding and holding and holding. But sometimes things go wrong with projects. Sometimes things actually don't even work. There was a coin called Naut, and it was doing very well. It was the price was going up. They had some events that were set out in the future, and we were expecting a lot of excitement and news and everything. And all of a sudden they announced that their main developer passed away, and pretty much the project was finished. So very soon after that, the coin dumped completely, and there was no way to recover from that, because now the project is abandoned, the coin is delisted from exchanges, and you can't really do anything with it. So monitoring the news, seeing what's happening with this project is important, especially if you're going to be doing more kind of longer term rather than short term trades. For short term trades, day trading or swing trading, that's a whole different game. And a lot of the times this is for people who are more experienced. I know that often people who are not experienced, they kind of treat these coins as somewhat investors, but also a bit of traders. So you would invest in something, you would hold it for a longer term, you would trade it when you feel that the price is good, which is fine. It's basically being a position trader. You have your positions, you know that you bought it at this price, your target is that price, and you're following. If this is your strategy and you know exactly what it is, stick to it. If you based it on a chart analysis or fundamentals or a mixture of both, very well. But if you want to make the most of it, you should actually be trading more often, and you should be selling it every time you see a peak. Let me go to any graph again, like this graph, for instance. We see here a peak of over just a few days. Am I on one day? Yeah. Just over a few days, this coin peaked. And again, it doesn't even matter which is the coin here. I'm not sure which one I'm looking at. CNG. It's a coin that I'm not very familiar with, but what happens is that coin peaked, and because this was a really fast peak over a period of just a few days, after that it retracted, and from there on it's only been in a bearish market, and it's now, look at the price right now, it is as low as it was at the time of a breakout, just a little bit higher than the actual point of breakout, but nevertheless it is as low as that. This is a typical, mark. Probably that coin was accepted at some exchange or something else they announced, which caused all of that attention and excitement, and people accumulated it for a few days. As soon as everyone accumulated what they wanted to buy, there was no more interest, and with the decline in interest, the price declined as well. That happens with every coin, even the most popular coins, they also have that. Check out Ethereum. There is a increase in interest, increase in price, decrease. That's not necessarily a pump and dump, because pump and dump would be something quite fake, something that people are doing purely speculatively. Here we have a lot of fundamentals that play a role in Ethereum, but in effect, this is what it is. There's a lot of interest at the same time, pumping the price, and then decrease in interest at the same time, almost instant, and dumping the price. The price goes down. It's a typical, that happens all the time in crypto, guys. So if you are new to the crypto sphere, this is something that you should be expecting. That's another thing. Panic selling is not recommended. One of the biggest problems for people why they lose money in crypto is because they panic sell, because they're really following the news and they're looking at what's happening, and when they see that they're losing money, they want to sell, they want to get out of that trade. You should be actually doing the opposite, but it's counterintuitive to be holding when you see that something is losing money. But you should really, because this is the only way that you can beat the market, because all of the weak people are going to sell, and you need to be that strong hand. You need to be that person who is still holding and knowing that the market will turn, and when it turns, it's your time. Another common mistake, playing favorites. Many people, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin perhaps, these are coins that are favorite for many people. Many people are holding this, and they're not really trading them, they're just holding them. As I said, you can be a fan of Ethereum or whichever coin it is, and it can always be part of your portfolio, but you can really maximize your profits if you are selling it every time you see a peak, and then waiting for the interest after the peak to go down, the price to go down, and buy more again, buy the same or buy more. In any case, you would still have that coin in your portfolio, but every time you sell it at a peak and you buy at a dip, you will be accumulating more and more of it, or you will be keeping the same balance, but you will be having more and more profit that you will be taking and putting into other coins. And again, I forgot to hide my camera, so let me let me show you that. So, here, selling at the peak, buying at a dip, selling at the peak, buying at another dip. Well, maybe not yet. Maybe you want to wait and see where exactly it's going to bottom. Where is the floor of that coin? And it also, you need to be patient, because what happens sometimes is people are selling here at the peak and they're very happy that they sold. It was a win. And they feel that this was great. Now they're going to buy it at the dip, and then the dip comes and they're buying it straight away. Maybe they bought it here at the deepest point of this dip. But what happened is that because of, the news has already passed of whatever event was happening, now there's not that much interest. And we're entering a bearish market. So for a long time now, we're going to be going down, further down and further down. So you wouldn't really be that successful if you bought it straight away after such a successful trade. You decided, okay, I want Ethereum in my portfolio, I don't want to lose it, so I'm going to buy, let's make this bigger. So you're rushing into buying it here at this dip and not realizing that you're now in a longer term bearish trend, and you actually have to wait for it to really bottom and really reach that support level that is kind of the strongest support. That's why you need to be able to realize where is the support and resistance, these kind of really basic things. So yeah, this is really what you need to do. You need to allow it more time, because with every coin that happens, and with every coin, the time comes when it really bottoms. If you sold Stellar up here, you would be tempted to buy it at this level because you would think it's a support level. And I'm not saying you can definitely know that it will be going further down. You can't. Many times you can't. Sometimes you can because of, analyzing historical charts and stuff, but sometimes you don't even have that much of if it's a new coin, you wouldn't have that much of a history to be able to see previous support levels. So this might be something that is happening for the first time. So what you should do is, if you really want to buy it here, buy just some of it. Don't put too much in it, because you still have to find out whether this is the true support or is there a lower support. Also, once you get into a trade, once you get in, let's say you got in here, let's make this larger as well. So let's say you got in here and you're now monitoring, you're hoping that it's going to go up, but you're seeing that after a day or two, it's not really going up, it's going down, and it keeps going down. I think it's better for you to sell at this point and cut some losses rather than wait and see what's going to happen, because you will end up going all the way down here and losing so much. This is probably a good 50% or something, 60, maybe something like that. So you shouldn't really be waiting. Sometimes it's better to cut your losses here, wait and buy that coin when it really bottoms, rather than keeping it and making all this loss. I think I already said that, so I don't want to repeat myself. Let me go back to my points. So playing favorites, if you are going to be playing favorites, do it the right way. Don't just hold the coin forever. Sell it every time there is a good price, a peak, and then wait for it to come down again and buy it again. They always come down. There's always something else happening that is distracting the attention. Some other innovation or some other coin is doing something else, that all of the attention goes there, and your coin is no longer that hot and the price is really flat or something. This is the time to be buying it, not when it has just peaked and retracted. Okay, and let's see what else do we have here. Oh well, what can you do? You can, first of all, you can work with stop losses, because I know that this is for the more experienced people, but it's important to, if you're not going to have the time to monitor the trade every hour, once you get in, at least set some stop losses, learn how to do it. It's not that difficult. Determine what would be a good exit point for you. And if you see that you're getting into a trade and the market is not really following your direction, but it's going against you, sell it early on so that you can make a small loss and you can put the money into a better trade. You can either buy the same coin at a cheaper rate, or you can buy a different coin that is more profitable. Determine support and resistance so that you can know when it's good to buy and good to sell. Have a strong hand, which is basically holding. If it's too late for you to sell, do not sell it at a loss. I hardly ever sell at loss, and I mean not for the short term, but if let's say I bought up here and we are now down here and I didn't sell it when I saw the trend going down, I was busy with something and I missed it or whatever, I'm not going to be selling it down here now. I will be waiting for that trend to reverse and for the coin to reach at least close to my, to the price that I bought it, so that I can at least break even. But what also I can do, and now this is kind of the most riskiest thing, but at least it's something that you can do. It's the last one here that I've written. Buy more at the floor. This is not for everyone, and I'm saying here in brackets, if necessary, because not everyone can really feel confident enough to be buying. Let's say you bought this coin here when it was, at this price, you thought it was a good price, and the market continued going down and it wasn't such a good price. So you bought it at 1,673 Satoshi, and you saw it going all the way down here, which is by the look of it, quite a strong support, which is only 312 Satoshi. So that is 500%. You paid 500% more than the price here, isn't it? 300 by 5 is 100. Yeah, so 5 times more than that price. What you can do is, at this price, you can actually purchase some more. If you bought 10 of it when it was here, and it comes all the way down here, even though it's scary to do that and it's counterintuitive again, why it's already making you so much loss, why would you be buying more? Because this way you will make your average price much lower. So, your lowest price is at 300, your highest price is at 1,500 or something like that. Where is the middle? Somewhere around 700, right? 600, 700, let's call it. No, more. It would be around 800 or something like that. But that means that if your average price is no longer 1,500 Satoshi, if your average price is now 800 Satoshi or something like that, here, 900, it only takes that much for the coin to go up for you to get in profit, right? So as soon as the coin is up on this level, you will be breaking even, and when it goes up to this level, which is still below the first price you paid for it, you're in profit already, because you purchased the same amount when it was at the really, at the bottom, when it was really at the floor. But that is difficult. That really takes a lot of experience and courage to do. But it's something that, it's, at the end of the day, this is what would make you a better trader, if you're able to take these kind of risks and if you're able to make these tough decisions. So, this is one of the lessons that we learn from experienced traders. They always say that you need to buy when nobody's talking about it, whether it's a stock or a coin or whatever it is. When there's no news, when there's nothing happening, this is when you should be buying. And what most people are doing is they're buying when they hear news. So when they hear about Ripple in the media, or when they hear about Litecoin, this is when they go and buy it. When in fact, this is the time for us to sell it, for those of us who have already got that coin. So next time you hear news about a coin, you hear someone talking about it in a blog or podcast or video, or on the TV or something, don't go and buy it. Just monitor it, put it on your radar, and just watch it for some time, analyze it, and also take other people's opinion. See what other people are talking about that coin, because if people are not liking it, see why are they not liking it. See the kind of points that they bring out when they're talking bad about the coin, because you need these alternative opinions. You cannot only follow what some people are saying, and what what your friends are saying, or just one type of a source. Okay, I'm going to quickly look at your comments here to see if there's any questions. Crypto Snipper is saying, don't be greedy. Indeed, don't be greedy when the price is high, but you should be greedy when the price is low. This is how you make your money. When everyone is scared and everyone is running away from it, this is the time for you to be greedy. But what people do is they become greedy when the price is already 100% up or something like that. What they basically do is they would go to the trading platform, and I'm just using Binance here for example, but it doesn't really matter because it could be any trading platform, and they would arrange the coins by most profitable for the last 24 hours, which is every exchange allows you to do this kind of statistics. And you would see here, oh, look at these coins, 16%, 16, 15%, and the coins I have are only 1%, or maybe even some of the coins I have are on minus. Well, there's coins here with 16. I was seeing, when I was getting involved with crypto, I was seeing pretty much every day a coin going by 70, 80%, sometimes more than 100%. Steam, or what was it? A few coins actually. I can't even remember which ones, and these were coins that I didn't have. So I wanted to get involved and I jumped into these coins, and I didn't jump at the time when they were 100% up, but they became part of the coins that I was following, and as soon as I saw them being cheap, I was buying them. But many people are actually jumping on these coins when they see them being high, and this is absolutely the worst time to be buying them. So if you see a coin that is 16% is not even a lot, but 50, 60, 70%, that would be you will need to find out why is the coin going up. Is it a simple pump and dump, or is it the case of them just being accepted on a new exchange or multiple exchanges, or did someone with influence post something about the coin? There are many things that can go into that project to make it desirable, and a lot of the times it's to do with news. So if the news has already gone, you're too late. You should be buying the rumor, selling the news. This is what the experienced trader, and especially if we're talking about fundamentals, this is what people are doing. You need to be finding out what is going to, what this project is planning for the next 6 months or a year from now, because this is the rumor that you are buying. And, of course, you need to analyze some other things so that you know that you're buying a good project and not just anything. There's way too many coins. But this is when you're buying the rumor, when you're actually finding out about things way before they happen, and then you're buying it at a good price. You're waiting for a good bottom price for you to get involved, and you're waiting for the news. And just prior to the event, a week before the event, 2 weeks, sometimes a month before the event, people start talking about it. And when people start talking about it, the price starts going up. So it could be a gradual rise of the price, which is okay. It means you need to monitor it, and you will probably be selling in portions. You can never really expect that you will nail it right at the top. So, every time there is a pump, you will sell a little bit. Oh, the next day it went even further up. You can sell a little bit more. The next day it went further up. You sell a bit more. But you need to be ready to sell when there's news. And you need to be buying rumors. You need to be buying when people are not talking about it, but you find out somehow. Because when other people are talking about it, this is when many other people like yourself are listening and hearing it, finding out, or reading newsletters, and and they're going at the same time to be buying that coin, and they are causing these pumps in the prices. So not the right time for you to be buying. Okay, so these are basically my kind of quick tips on what you can do in order to avoid big mistakes. Even though I must point out again, you're bound to be making mistakes. Everyone's making mistakes. Every trader has losses. There's no way that you can only make profits and not have any losses, right? So this is everything, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'm hoping that more people will leave comments later on when they watch this on the repeat. I will leave this video here public, so you can look at it, you can watch it later on. And also, if you have any suggestions or questions that you want me to cover, topics and stuff like that, leave them in the comments below the video. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be back very soon with my next video, part of my Crypto Corner weekly reports as well. See you soon.